Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Jason Hitchings with Adept Defense, and today we're talking about the Smith & Wesson M&P Shield 2.0 and 9mm. And we're going to do a multi-part series on this for a couple reasons. First off, Adept Defense purchased this gun, so we don't have a tight timeline. It's not on loan to us for review purpose or anything like that, so we've got a little bit more leeway to do what we want with it. And then secondly, the Shield has been in the top 3 as far as most purchased guns for concealed carry pretty much since it's been out. Over the last 3 to 5 years, it's been in the top 3. So I think that in itself is deserving of a little bit more time spent with this gun. So in this first video, we're going to go over the reasons why I bought this gun. I could have just requested it for loan to do a review on it, but instead I wanted to purchase it for the company. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then I'll go over my purchasing experience when I went and bought this gun. And then in the second video, we'll take this thing to the range and I'll show you guys how to shoot it fast and accurate. So first off, let's jump in and take a look at this gun. Alright guys, the Shield 2.0 and 9mm. This gun has been cleared out for the video. It's got an empty mag, empty chamber. So it has been verified safe. So let's jump into this. It is a 3 1/8 inch barreled, striker fired, polymer framed gun that was designed and meant for concealed carry. They come with or without a manual thumb safety, and I chose without. I don't think it's really necessary. These are they've got internal safeties with the hinged trigger safety, along with the internal safety for the striker, the plunger block that's in there. So these guns are drop safe, and they've got plenty of safety mechanisms built into it. I don't think that manual thumb safety is really necessary in my opinion. This gun features a semi-single stack type magazine, so it's not a true single stack to where each round is stacked directly on top of one another. They're actually kind of a staggered stack in there to where it's not a double stack, not a single stack, but a staggered semi-single stack. So in short, it basically gets an extra round in the magazine. So if you want to compare this gun to like a Glock 43 that holds 6 rounds in the mag, the flush fitting mag, the lower capacity mag that this comes with, holds 7 rounds instead of 6. And then it also comes with a magazine with an extra extension on it that gets you 8 rounds. So you can have 8 in the mag, 1 in the chamber, giving you 9 rounds total. Now there's a few differences between the 2.0 Shields versus the original generation, or the 1.0 if you will. There's 2 big differences that I'd like to point out, and that was the reason why I went with the 2.0 versus the 1.0. You can actually find some of the leftover 1.0s for really good prices right now, but these 2 features that I'll point out is kind of what made me make the decision to spend the little bit extra to get the 2.0 versus buying one of the leftover 1.0s on a really steep discount. First off is the grip texture. The texture on this grip is very similar to the M&P 2.0 Compact, and we've got a 4-part review on the channel with that. And one of the things that I loved about that gun out of the box is how much friction there was in the hand, and this has a very similar texture to the grip. So it has a lot more friction in the hand than the 1.0 version did. And with a subcompact gun like this, to be able to shoot it well and control recoil, traction in the hand, it's huge. The second feature is the upgraded trigger. They did some internal trigger work between the 1.0s and the 2.0s to where this trigger is quite a bit better. This is actually my 4th Shield. I had 3 of the 1.0s and then now this one. And all of the 1.0 versions that I had around a 6.5 pound trigger out of the box. And this one is quite a bit better. We can put it on the trigger pull gauge just to show you that. So that was 3 pounds, 11.9 ounces. Enough said, right? I mean, that's a pretty phenomenal trigger for out-of-the-box, striker-fire little gun like this. A sub 4-pound trigger. You don't have to do anything with this trigger. It will shoot really well just the way it is. So the main reason that Adept Defense chose to purchase this gun was simply to have it available for shooters at the class and students. I have a lot of people that contact me that are relatively new to shooting and concealed carry, and they're looking for recommendations, and I don't feel comfortable recommending a gun unless I've had a decent amount of time behind it and an actual hands-on experience with it. So that was the reason for buying this. Even though this is the 4th Shield I've technically owned, it's the first 2.0 version I've owned. So it was important to me to have that hands-on experience with it. And it's nice when you recommend a gun to actually be able to put it in somebody's hands and let them shoot it and let them try it. And then they'll feel a lot more comfortable about their decision whether or not they want to purchase it at that point. So that was kind of the decision why I wanted to buy this gun. So next, let's talk about what I bought to go with it. As you can see, I've got a holster sitting here. But first off, this gun, as I mentioned, comes with 2 magazines. It comes with the extended 8-round version and the flush-fitting 7-round version. The flush-fitting 7-round version doesn't quite give me a full firing grip, and on a small subcompact gun like this, I'm just not willing to sacrifice grip. So I will probably never use that magazine. I will exclusively shoot it with the 8-round mags, and if I do conceal carry this, it'll be with one of the 8-round mags. So I ended up buying 3 more of the 8-rounders to give me 5 mags total, but 4 mags of the extended version. And I bought an inside the waistband mag pouch, which is made by G-Code. And then for holster, I bought an appendix inside the waistband Kydex holster from T-Rex Arms. This is a pretty simple holster. It's a design that I like. It has nice click retention to it. And it's got the wing, or the claw, whatever you want to call it, as far as your belt comes around and pushes on this claw or wing and tucks the grip of the gun in closer to the body, so it makes it really easy to conceal. A gun that's small like this anyway is pretty easy to conceal, but the wing or the claw feature is a huge help. And then I do like the wide belt clip. It makes it a little bit more stable on the belt. I've run some with a single clip design that has a narrower clip, but I found that it will actually move on the belt. And one issue that I see with that is when this gun is inside the waistband and you've got your belt line here, if it moves to where the grip of the gun is actually like resting on top of the belt, it impairs you from being able to come in there and get a full firing grip. You've got no room for those fingers to wrap in there. So you kind of need that stability built in, and I feel like the wide clip really does help with that. So that was kind of the decision as far as going with this holster. So I mentioned I wanted to tell you about my purchasing experience of this gun. And as you know, Retro Firearms of Petoskey, Michigan is a supporter of the channel and supporter of Adept Defense. So whenever I can, I try to buy all my guns through them. And they're a Davidson's dealer, so you know, you get all the perks of the Davidson's guarantee and all of that stuff that goes along with it as well. So they're open 5 days a week, and they are closed Sundays and Mondays. So they're open Tuesday through Saturday. So this kind of started on a Sunday, and I was looking on their website on retrofirearms.com, and it kind of takes you to a link to a gun search portion that's kind of linked with Davidson's, and I saw that Davidson's had the 2.0 Shield on sale throughout the rest of that month. So I sent Randy, the owner of Retro, a text that night with the item number and just said, you know, when you get into the shop on Tuesday, would you order this gun for me? And it was his day off, and they were closed that day, so I wasn't expecting anything, you know, until Tuesday. But, you know, within a few minutes, he replied back and he said, done, it's ordered, it should be here within a few days. Which was really cool, you know, that he jumped right on it on his personal time at home and got it ordered for me. So then, fast forward, you know, like 3 days later, So Randy gets a hold of me and says it came in and I can come pick it up. So I get out of work because Adept Defense is not my only job yet. I'm working towards that, but I'm not quite there yet. So I get out of work and I shoot over to Retro and walk in, and the gun and the paperwork sitting on the counter waiting for me. So, you know, we say hi and stuff, and then I start filling out the paperwork to do the transfer on the gun. And right after I start filling it out, this young lady walks in, and Randy greets her, and she says she's looking for the next available CPL class, if he knew when it would be. And so he pulls out a couple business cards with 2 local CPL instructors, one that does group classes, and he told her when the next class was, and then another that would accommodate private training, and kind of told her a little bit about that. And then he gave her one of my cards for Adept Defense and told her once she's done with her CPL class to contact me and get something set up for further training to make her more confident and proficient with the gun. So that was really nice to see, you know, somebody just walk in the door and be presented with that information. Then she goes on to ask him what kind of gun she should buy for concealed carry. She tells him that she drives downstate quite a bit now, and she's looking to be able to better protect herself. So she's going to get her CPL, and she needs a gun for concealed carry. And instead of recommending her a specific gun, I really liked this approach. Randy told her, I'd like to educate you a little bit about, you know, a few different gun options and let you decide what's best for you. So he goes in and talks about caliber selection, and then semi-auto versus revolver, pros and cons to each. He goes on to talk about size of the gun and the kind of the balance between a small little tiny micro pocket pistol is really easy to conceal and comfortable to carry, but it's not easy or fun to shoot. So the bigger duty sized guns are a lot easier to shoot well. And so there's kind of the balance as far as size when it goes to concealed carry versus being able to carry it versus being able to shoot it. So I'm just kind of listening to this conversation as I fill out the paperwork, and I thought he did an awesome job of kind of leading her down the path of educating her instead of just pulling a gun out of the case and saying, here, this is what you should buy. Because there's a lot of gun shops, and I've been in multiples, to where you've witnessed a scenario like this, and it could have easily been to where he could have pulled out the gun that he's been trying to sell for a year. It's sat on the shelf. Nobody wants to buy it. Well, this lady's going to buy whatever he tells her to or whatever he recommends. And there's a lot of gun shops that would have done that. That they would have took that opportunity to off one of their guns that they've been trying to get rid of but can't. But instead of doing that, he educated her, led her down the path of being able to make an informed decision of what kind of carry gun she wanted to buy. And she actually ended up ordering a gun that he was currently out of stock on. So instead of just selling her a gun right out of the case, he actually ordered her a gun that will really suit her needs really well, and it'll be a good gun for her for a long time. So it just made me feel really good to witness that and see that, you know, the local gun shop that we're teamed up with is actually educating people and giving out really good advice. So I thought that was just a good story I wanted to share with you guys. But after this video, we're going to head to the range and we're going to put some rounds through this gun. And kind of the plan for that is, first we're going to run a few mags of my carry ammo through it, which is Federal HST 124 grain. Make sure it likes that ammo fine. And then we're going to go into being able to shoot this gun fast and accurate. So stay tuned for the range portion of this in the next video. I'm Jason Hitchings with Adept Defense. Seek training, become adept.